from their encounters with races from other planets. The information is the activation. Let's awaken this world together. We are the forever students, and we will not be silent. We are the ones that we've been waiting for pretty while. Ooh, welcome everybody to another episode of Full Spectrum Universe. My name is Rob Yox. We are the Embattled Broadcast from the great state of New York. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My other light warriors, the soul presence, the community. How is everybody doing this evening? Last night was a wild show. We talked about some really cool stuff. But for some reason, that video is not getting too much traction. And I think it's because of a quick little shadow banning because of the things that we're talking about. But nonetheless, so I'm going to ask you, please leave a comment in the comment section once the stream is finished. Also, please like, share, and subscribe. Sharing means caring. It means that we are posing ourselves in the position of showing humanity the way to the light. That is what we do. That is what our main mission is. So I love you all. Thank you all so much for coming in. I see we've got Lion here. We've got Sugarbee. We've got Nancy. Sugarbee, I would ask that you please email me when you get a chance. I have something to discuss with you. A couple of other things happening here. Andromeda was here. He might still be here, but we've got about 10 people here right now. Awesome, awesome show last night. Now, the numbers don't mean anything, but the information we gave was really, really great. So tonight, I kind of wanted to go back to a little bit of the positioning of the higher consciousness state information. We're going to be talking about the solar Rishi tonight and the return of the solar Rishi. This is in part because of the bifurcation, and what happens when the bifurcation happens, there needs to be energetical clearing in all of the different dimensional densities from 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and all that. So we're going to do a lot of the a little bit of the Gaian Matrix, the reality matrix, and how really it affects the 3D reality. That's really what we're trying to get into, right? We're also going to be talking about a little bit of things that have to do with what's in that energetical package that's essentially, causing this displacement in the 3D. So we're going to get into a lot of that stuff. But before we do, again, I want to let everybody know that the Energetics Workshop is up. The tickets are going fast. If you use promo code Forever Student, you will get the ability to get 10% off the ticket price. Now, this is the kickoff event for this entire workshop series. Now, there's going to be a workshop series, and a lot of the other workshops that we do are going to be based off this specific quantum energy and reality matrix healing. This is when we start to get into the upper echelons of this consciousness and these healing mechanisms and techniques that give us the ability to affect our everyday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link in the chat really quickly so everybody has the ability to click on it, save it, whatever needs doing, right? So here is the link. If you'd like, the tickets are only $25. I tried to price it as reasonably as possible so we can get this information. And remember, you get charts, graphs, you get everything. And all of it is going to be sent in a package to you before we even start. So if you don't make it to the actual event, you'll still have the information. Not only that, you can start it anytime you want. There's unlimited replays. It'll be yours forever. So we're going to start doing a little bit more of these sort of events, some free, some paid. But what we're going to do is we're going to expand on what we're doing here because there's certain avenues that need further investigation. We need to get deeper. We need to get further. We need to articulate what we mean and how we're doing this. And it's going to be an impactful series for sure. We're also going to be doing a little bit more of the historical series. I'm putting together a series that's based in each different ancient civilization, what we need to learn, some of the hidden histories, which is truly humanity's history. That is also going to be an event we're going to be putting together for everybody. And we're going to have some free ones coming up where we have some guest speakers that will accumulate more information for everybody. Information is the activation. We say it all the time. So let's bombard the airwaves or platforms with all the information we have out there. So thank you all for being here tonight. I see we have some more people. Shannon came in, and we have a new person by the name of Shock to Shaker. I think I could be saying it wrong, but welcome. Welcome. You are part of the family. Tressa is here. Hello, everybody. And, I wanted to say this again is that this community is just the best. I mean, the information that has come from this conglomeration of all of our aspects and perspectives has blown my mind time and time again, right? And I feel like we are truly on the precipice, hello, Darina, of making this change. We're in this change right now. This bifurcation is happening for a reason, and we're taking full advantage of that. Also, we're helping our brothers and sisters across the globe in this reality and all the other realities thereof, right? And we're using our energy to create and to explore and to essentially overcome these negative entities, this negative sort of energy that is trying to permeate because we've basically stagnated it and stalled it so hard that it's trying every which avenue to control the regime again, right? And a lot of what's happening now, especially with these platforms that we have, I see Elisa's here, and what's happening is that they don't like me saying these things, which always is an indication that we're pretty much over the target. I'm not saying that my information is better than anybody else's. All I'm saying is that we're close, right? We're close here. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing what they do. And it really becomes paramount and evident that they do not like what we say here. And also, I think it has a lot to do with the connections that we're making. This community is so strong that nothing will falter for us, even if something is to happen, right? Even if there's to take us off these platforms and whatever, it doesn't matter. We have avenues in which we have Telegram, we have all different types of avenues that we can accumulate our knowledge still, right? Nothing is going to stop this movement. And this truly is a movement. And this is a movement for humanity, a movement for the betterment of of this entire planet, not any one specific person. And because all of our paths are different, we have to accumulate all of this knowledge to really interact on every level with every single individual, right? They have multifaceted attacks. We have multifaceted ascension. That's how it works. So, with all that being said, let's get into the information. So, tonight we're going to be talking about the return of the solar Rishi. Thank you. Thank you, Line. It's I did my hair for everybody tonight just so you know, make myself look presentable once in a while. Can't always wear the hat. So, with all that being said, Solar Rishi. We've talked about the Solar Rishi at length. And one of the things we're going to talk about tonight is we're going to talk about how this is actually an interaction between the different density levels and what is happening and how what they do within the seventh density is affecting this third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh density. So let's jump right into it. We're going to start with my opening salvo. I gave you one of the charts that I love to really look at and kind of, really hone my craft into is this chakras of dimensions. It's truly an incredible, there's so many layers to who and what we are, that to know them all without some sort of help and some sort of chart or PDF is I couldn't do it, and I retain a lot of information at the detriment of my own personal sanity sometimes, but here we are, right? And as you can see, too, a lot of what we're talking about with the shadow banning is the numbers inside of the lives have slowed down. And it's not anything that we're doing differently or, you know, anything that's happening. I truly think this is an attack on our platform because they don't like what we're doing and how we're empowering the people, which means that they can't be subservient or subordinate to whatever capitulations they want us to. Hello, Susan. How are you? Great to see you. So, let's talk about it, right? There's significant and positive changes taking place within our universal matrix at this time, which are happening at a progressively higher dimensional level. Each next layer of access is bringing more recovery and rehabilitation, also bringing disclosure and ascension. And it's all that much closer. So while things may look very confusing or dire on the outer scape, These massive shifts at the architectural level are making it increasingly difficult for the negative forces to maintain themselves. This is a good time to be steadfast in our dedication, to know the truth, and to nurture our inner spirit and God connection, as we have progressively more access to both in the coming months. So, this is telling you that we are winning. We have won, but we've stalled them so much that they're having a hard time even maintaining themselves, which is why we're seeing these veils sort of become apart at the seams. And when these veils come apart, these great deceptions are on complete display. And it shows us that this whole time that we had these thoughts that things were happening, right? It's it's validating all the things that we've seen, said, heard, and talked about. One of the things that I've done since the beginning of the last 2 or 3 years, in the beginning of this show, is talk about their plan. I've done this through extensive research from 2014 all the way up to 2019 when we started this program. And there was a timeline that came out. And I've studied and studied and studied the esoteric and occult knowledge to the point where it's not even really me predicting what they do. They lay it out, and all we have to do is decipher what they're going to do. And this is something that I've truly worked on for so many years. So it's almost as if I can see their game plan. And by seeing their game plan, I can essentially give warning. And that warning is sent to the people. So nobody is caught flat-footed, or nobody is caught on the back of their heels. We have a head start, a running start, to essentially dissipate and disseminate and discern what is, what was, and what will be, because we will be the ones dictating what will be. Not in a dictator like fashion, but with compliments of love and abundance. This is who we are. This is our mission. And we've set out for a very arduous goal, very ambitious goal. But I believe it's all within our reach. We're all right here, right now, for this moment in time. And it's truly a remarkable time to be alive. Truly. What's going on, Gray Noise? This is our moment. This is our time to stand tall. We are the ones that we have been waiting for. And if not us, then who? This is our moment to bask in the sun and spread this love at such a rapiding rate that nothing can stop us. We are the forever students. We will not go into the night quietly. We will not be squashed or quelled. We are the ones that will lead and be pioneers into this great ambivalent future. This is who we are. This is what we were meant for. There's no such thing as coincidence. Destiny is upon us. We need to grab tight and hold on, because this is our moment and we're going to take full advantage of it. So I know a lot of that sounded like I was reading at the end, but really that was just coming off the mind. That was something that I decided to just get into really quickly before we really go into the next opening remarks of this. So there's a little bit more left to say, and this is the return of the solar Rishi into the matter worlds, and it's a significant event which has generated massive impacts to the timeline architecture of this reality. This is why we focus on the current Guardian projects and direct impacts made to the future timeline of the seventh dimensional Gaian matrix. Remember, Earth is 3D, Terra is 5D, which is future Earth. Gaia is even still future Earth, seventh dimensional. This new configuration has radically changed the galactic and metagalactic core configuration, and this is continually unfolding new organic timeline patterns for ascension within the planetary architecture. The eighth dimensional metagalactic core is also the Gaian planetary core, which previously held in held in place a black sun in the eighth portal. That was configured from an exact AI replica of the Gaian Matrix during the Electric Wars. We've gone over the Electric Wars in great extension in one of the videos we did about 2 months ago, talking about that. We're going to dive back into it just a little bit now. So, as we keep progressing forward, what's going on? Angel Star, Neo's here, Rainwater, love it. I am Starseed, if I haven't said your name. I see somebody say Discog is here. What's going on, Discog? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, let's keep going. So, this was the next one that I was supposed to put up for everybody, which I didn't because I tend to do that a lot. I tend to skip slides because I get into rants and that's just what happens. But so during the winter solstice that had just passed, the gold body activation, a sixth harmonic universe for the sixth dimensional, seventh dimensional, and eighth dimensional was completed. And this is gradually restoring the Gaian matrix to its original pre-fall state. This was directed through an intervention, which is non dimensionalized cosmic God source fields emerged to host this newly created harmonic universe, surrounding and permeating Gaia within a new universal mother dark matter matrix. And this is to correct the timeline damage that resulted from the electric war invasion. From within the restored Gaian planetary core shines a Christos infinity sun, which emanates its solar plasmic rays for the gold sun DNA body from the eighth density, as well as an assorted RH sun star solar factors designed to spiritualize our bloodstream and crystal waters and to ignite plasmic coding within our neurological system for the transconfiguration of our etherical body and our third dimensional consciousness. So we're working on this as we speak, literally right now, right? Right now. This is what we're doing right now. As we're tuning in and listening, as we're engaging with this information, we are engaging on that level, right? So, next, the Amethyst Order and the Violet Flame Yanas and Ramyanas from the Ra God world creation have been instrumental with organizing extensive emancipation gridwork projects that are happening in the Gaian matrix to restore the universal tribal records for the angelic humans, us. These are the assortments of the Magi Grail Kings and Queens instruction sets that restore Gaia's consciousness record from the Ascended Masters' lineages, including embodiment of Gaian architecture that holds the original founder emanations of the 48 DNA strand Azarites. Now, the Azarites are not the Azuris. The Azuris are the demonic ones. The Azarites are not the demonic ones. They are the Oraphim, as we'll find out a little bit later in this. The tri-matrix of the Azarites includes three 48-strand matrices that hold 144 dimensions that are accessed from within a quad-merged core manifestation template or the 12-tree grid that is based on the Eka God world configurations, the access into the seven higher heavens. These particular Christos diamond sun body templates are forming complex crystal cathedral alignments for the solar Rishi and the founder lineage to pour their consciousness body into it by braiding themselves back into the Gaian matrix, which is freeing many more ascended master identities that were being trapped by the black sun constructs. So this is why a lot more people are having contact with the ascended masters, and the ascended masters are reaching out. You could potentially be an ascended master. That's what we talk about. These identities are not local to fifth dimensional space. Sometimes they come down to third dimensionality to become incarnated and take part in a cycle to redefine what it means to be a master and to make sure that they are on top of all and every bit of info, right? So this is pretty incredible stuff. I mean, this is really a continuation of a lot of the things that we've talked about, right? Truly. So as we keep going. I'm going to go to the next slide so I can just keep going through the information. So, having a greater awareness of events happening within the Gaian Matrix that are eradicating Holocaust timelines and alien machinery used by the Black Suns from the Electric Wars on Hyberia for timeline bleed through on Earth. Also, helps us to better understand the hidden spiritual warfare behind the aggressive pushing of these toxic things that are going around and people are still taking that are currently being mass marketed to the Earth's population. Everything happening on Earth at this time is connected to the spiritual war happening at multiple dimensional levels, whether we can understand this is taking place or not, right? So this is sort of the introduction into tonight's information. So 7D Gaia and the Palladorian seeding. And again, the planet Earth exists in three main formed identities in the universal time matrix. The timelines for the third D Earth are called Earth or Terra, right? Terra, Terra. The timelines for the fifth dimensional Earth are called Tara, Tara, and the timelines for the seventh dimensional Earth are called Gaia. Due to the cataclysm that occurred on Tara, Tara, which exploded portions of the main planetary grid manifestation template, the 5D Terran planet was separated from its 7th D Gaian counterpart in future time. Essentially, the result of the planetary grid damage trapped the soul family matrix on Terra and the monadic family matrix on Gaia to be locked down in their respective harmonic universes, unable to communicate or link with each other. So this cataclysmic event generated separation between the fifth dimension and the seventh dimensional timelines, which further created damage between the soul and the mondanic layers in our angelic human consciousness body. And as a result of this, as a result of this cataclysm, humanity was unable to fully unite and integrate the soul aspects that were trapped in the 5D timelines, and with the mondanic aspects that were trapped in the seventh dimensional timelines as well. The race lines of the Palladorians began their rescue mission for Tarans, and that's Tarans, through the parallel systems by first working in the etherical layers of Gaia to correct the morphogenetic instruction sets for DNA strands to be reassembled in order to retrieve the lost souls and help them ascend out. So they began to seed themselves through the first two root races. And this is called the Polarians of Gaia and the Hyperboreans. And as their counterpart upon Gaia's antiparticle double, through the Palorians and the Hyberian DNA instruction sets, the law of polarity and the law of gender were first seeded into the universe. This method was designed to attract the polarity fractures into energetic synthesis, and then to merge consciousness life streams, dimensions simultaneously. Through the etheric layers of Gaia, these two root races began a long evolutionary journey to slowly rebuild the Ascension template by first uniting soul and monadic extensions, leading to the ultimate fulfillment of the embodied avatar Christos liquid plasma that is made possible through the Paradisian seventh root race line in the future. This was designed to pull together and unite all of the exploded planetary grids to merge the Earth, Terra, and Gaia, as well as reassemble the damaged DNA and spiritual body of the angelic human race lines that were first seeded upon Terra. This is something that we are dealing with right now, right? A lot of people have a hard time integrating into their fifth density and seventh density soul matrix. It's very, very difficult for a lot of people. But now that they're opening this stuff up and this is happening, this is what we're doing. This is how we're having these abilities that transcend anything that we've seen before within this 3D physical reality, right? So there's a lot going on, and it's behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know it, right? So we have to take into account the information and how this is all affecting us. And we're going to keep going forward because that's what we're going to be talking about getting into this next area, right? So once the instruction sets were placed in the etherical layers of the Gaian planetary matrix, the Palladorians began the process of reseeding the angelic humanity, this time on the third dimensional timelines of Earth. This was millions of years ago. 6 linked time portals were made from the Palladorian consciousness instruction sets, and this created a sphere of Amenti that was connected in the Earth's core. This was devised in order to finally achieve the end result of planetary ascension, through assembling and repairing every dimensional level of DNA over many evolutionary timeline cycles. This allowed all timelines that existed on Earth, Terra, and Gaia to be interconnected again so the Earth could evolve forward in time and finally merge with its higher dimensional counterparts in the future time cycle. This was also designed to heal the rip in time and find fractured body parts stuck in time, strewn all over the universe from the cataclysmic events, serving multiple purposes to merge the layers together, reassembling DNA, evolve and ascend the souls that could merge with their modanic family and finally move out of time and back into the Godhead mode. So, this is what's happening again behind the scenes. This is a conflict that is ongoing, right? One thing I also wanted to say, now that we have more people here, is I will be on Watchers Talk this evening with Omar and Augie. We're going to be talking about Augie's book, which I always have by my computer here because it's important. I don't know if you can see it because the background is taking it out. This is Augie Nost's book. It's a fantastic book. We're going to be doing readings from that later on tonight. And this is really wild. This stuff is wild if you think about it, right? The halls of Amenti, or the records, is located beneath the Giza Plateau. I believe that a portion of it is the physical manifestation of it, but there is an etherical point to the halls of Amenti that is not always talked about, sort of like the Akashic record. And there is a component that can only be accessed within the halls of Amenti that is fifth dimensional and seventh dimensional. So we have to ascend ourselves to access some of that information, right? All the information is not apparent to us in the third density, but we're working on it. We're working on it. So let's keep going because we have about a half hour left. So basically, you're going to get me for about an hour. We're going to take an hour break, and then I'll be over on Watchers Talk at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we're going to be talking to Aggie a little bit later, too, which is going to be a lot of fun. Augie's one of my good friends. I love talking to Augie and picking his brain. He is definitely some of the elders that we sit at the feet at, right? So the conflict over seeding, right? Electric wars and the Gaian phantom body. The first seedings of the first 2 root races of angelic humanity occurred on the 7th density version of our planet that exists in the higher frequency bands of future time in the Gaian Matrix. The Gaian Matrix is the higher frequency future timeline of Tara, T-A-R-A, and seeding in the etherical layers began concurrently to help neutralize the destructive impacts of the fall of Tara, T-A-R-A, that had happened in the past timelines. The electric wars broke out. There were anti-human race sympathizers that joined with neighboring star systems as conflict existed in allowing a failed human seeding experiment to be started up again. Some races thought the Terran explosion was due to extreme negligence, and this cataclysm had generated extreme damage and genetic mutations, subjecting other civilizations to genetic digression. Thus, demanding that any future human seeding be sealed off and quarantines generated to protect higher dimensional realms from absorbing any further damage. The founders and the lyran-elohim negotiated with our neighboring systems and races that were in conflict with allowing the Terran angelic human lines to continue to evolve on Earth. Essentially, when human consciousness was no longer considered a direct threat to other planes or to other universal Stargate securities, and the quarantines and seals would be then lifted, and assistance given to those who truly desire to spiritually evolve, practicing the law of one in order to release these quarantine seals. It is returning the Ra families and the Ra Confederacy that generally oversee these requests when a human being truly and sincerely dedicates themselves to the process of biospiritual consciousness healing and is willing to place effort in their spiritual practice in order to ascend into higher consciousness. It was in the Gaian timelines, many of the hundreds of millions of years ago, that the original Guardian Azurite race incarnated into etherical forms, and these race lines are the direct genetic lineages of angelic human beings seated upon Terra and currently in this density of the earth. So essentially, the Terran angelic human higher God body was connected to the Guardian Azurites in the etherical levels of the Gaian Matrix. The combination of the Terran Cataclysm and the Electric Wars, which found their way to Gaia, destroyed both Azurite and Terran Diamond Sun genetic templates as they were intimately entwined together at that point. So, this is an important moment in history. This is what we have to talk about, because when we're talking about this entwinement, when we reach the next dimensional density, our third density will intertwine within our fifth density. And again, so on into the seventh once we ascend to that point. But this is what we're trying to attune ourselves to, that entanglement of both, especially right now, because we want to be of that higher consciousness state while still being able to reside sometimes within the third density to pull others out that are still sleeping, right? This is one of our, well, some of our missions, our sole purpose right now was to help those around us, but also to ascend while in that process. So as we keep going here, the onset of the invasion of the Wesa entities through the metagalactic core directly impacted the Gaian core and contributed to a series of electrical wars in Orion. And this included the timeline bleeding through into the Gaian wars. During the Gaian invasion, an entire planetary shadow body was formed through the use of advanced black hole technology, in which an AI replication of the Gaian matrix was captured. This was made for the purpose of capturing Gaian frequency and generating feedback loops of harvesting energy in order to send that current back through the Wesa tunnel. They collected mass amounts of energy from the Gaian matrix in order to form a phantom black sun in the metagalactic core that would act as a negative entity base in the eighth density and run Metatronic reversals throughout the lower dimensions. This essentially acted as a frequency fence, making it impossible for the founder races to breach and net and gain access and to us, the human race stationed in the lower timelines. The invading black hole entities desired to build an extensive virtual reality playground with assorted planetary systems for inhabiting their race lines, with the use of extremely advanced AI black hole technology forming into the black sun. This also feeds them energy to maintain an immortal existence. They require source creation code from planetary body blueprints, so they actually stole the original creation code from the Gaian Matrix. They also needed access to continually harvest living energy matrices or matrices in order to replicate the black sun shadow body planetary systems within that phantom systems in Wessa. To handle the energetical load, they built extensive levels of beast machinery architecture and assorted Metatronic alien machinery within Gaian stolen creation codes, including the Azerite DNA. This content became the shadow body form utilizing Metatronic death coding that ran universal current loops designed to sustain these parasitic matrices from all within the artificial timelines. Now, this is one of the reasons why we keep seeing these resets play out over and over, whether it's 20 years, 50 years, or 100 years. This is them keeping us within these phantom matrices, right? And what that does is it siphons our life force and all of the entities that reside from here to the seventh density. It is siphoning their life force. This is what it is. This is why we're in this spiritual warfare. But where there is so many things that have been negated from these phantom matrices, right? What that means is that we are winning and they are losing their grip. And when they lose their grip, they will grasp at straws to try and regain control. This is what we're seeing play out literally over the last 3 weeks, for sure. That's what is manifesting in front of us. Now, we have the ability to change that, and we're doing it right now by bringing credence to this information, by shining light on this information. We are subverting the dark futures or the encapturing of that future to make sure that we're the ones that we've been waiting for. And we're the ones who dictate what the next 20, 50, 1,000 years looks like. The spiritually advanced people who is going to be everybody on the planet eventually. So we're taking into consideration all aspects of life, right? This is solely what we do at this channel is expand our consciousness to get to these upper echelons of the third density, fourth density, and hopefully the fifth density, so that we can truly coin and plant our flag in New Earth and stay there, or Terran Earth and stay there. Now, a lot of people call this New Earth. It's new to the third density consciousness in this lifetime. But it is not new to our soul matrix. Our soul matrix has resided there and the seventh density Gaian matrix forever. We are a part of those densities. Those densities are a part of us as we are a part of them. So to open up connection to that area in your consciousness is just thinking it into existence, to manifest it, and to clear the energetic blockages, such as quantum healing, quantum energy field healing, reality matrix healing. This is why we're putting this workshop together, to help the collective pave a way to this fifth density apparatus and plane of consciousness. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do those things to get there. I'm saying it will hopefully be a point of interest to help others get there. And then once those people in this community, once those people realize what their destiny is, the people who are asleep, I mean, those people, and once we assert this information into the mainstream, we will be showing them the path, right? And I'm not sitting here showing anybody the path. I'm giving you the information for you to create and pave your own path. That's all we do here. I'm not telling you that I'm some sort of guru telling you how this works. I have no idea, just as you do, right? None of us have any idea because all of our perspectives are different and all of our paths are different to get there. So there are many, many techniques They're very good to know, line, because I may call on your assistance for future workshops if you'd be okay with that. Line to coach it. If you do the quantum healing aspects of it, I'm going to give you techniques. There are multiple techniques to make it happen. Multiple sensories and our natural senses that come into play in some of it as well. So let's not give anything away for the workshop, but let's keep going as we keep moving on here. So basically, they're taking us away from these artificial timelines, right? So during the stages of invasion to conquer Gaia, made through a series of electrical war campaigns, they increasingly used the living matrix of the Gaian body. This was further siphoning from our system through all of the other dimensions and timeline densities by running the metatronic reversals from the metagalactic core, which pulled life force from out of the grid network of our entire planetary matrix. The generation of the Gaian shadow, or the Gaian phantom body, during the final stages of the Gaian wars was the primary casual event in the human Holocaust timelines that has been feeding and holding together the first matrix origination of the artificial tree of life, reversal patterns, or the blending reality systems. The artificial tree of life, a base 10 reversal matrix designed to run Metatronic reversals or the Antichrist death current, further infected the entire planetary matrix and the angelic human DNA through its mondanic body that was bonded and fused with the original Gaian shadow etherical body forms. This particular historical timeline trigger event of fusing multiple timelines with the Gaian shadow body is what runs the Metatronic reversal patterns and the artificial tree of life imprint throughout the Albion Cathar body template that is located in the United Kingdom. Each dimensional sphere within the Albion Cathar or Christ Castala pattern must be rehabilitated and reconfigured into correct manifestation template design of our original Gaian matrix Edenic coding, or Edenic coding, like Edenic, that was held by the Azarites that existed in the pre-fall of the seventh dimensional Gaia. Through the Guardian Host Defender rehabilitation and rescue projects, we have noted that the Gaian shadow body was the first attempt of Wessa black hole entities to replicate an entire living planetary system from our universe. They accomplished this by pulling organic living matrices within the planet doubles, generating an AI version of our system's planetary matrices that are configured by AI systems to exist in a base 10 reversal current shadow form. Thus, we have observed several phantom planets that appear in the artificial timelines that were spun off from the original Gaian shadow body, such as the AI matrix replication of the Lyran founder Sunstar and Octarius in the prematter, as well as planets Terra, Tiamat, Mars, Maldek, Saturn, and Nibiru. Apparently, Nibiru also has a pre-invasion matrix that exists as an organic 12th planet in the timelines before the Thoth, Enki, and Enlil collectives from Sirius A, right, took it over and weaponized it against Earth. So this is in direct opposition to what others are saying, some people. So we have to understand that both perspectives have a place, right? And both perspectives have the ability to flourish. So we see which one is correct, because neither is right and neither is wrong. But in time, we will see the true aspects of what it is, right? Of which one was correct. But there's two floating theories about these entities and who is not our friend. So personally, on my side of the game, I don't believe that we're friends with any of them, which is not, relative to what others are saying, but they're no more right than I am, and they're no more wrong than I am. It's all about what, because we can judge anybody by their past. It's what they do now that truly counts, especially in this great time of need. So if they're doing something to help us, more power to them. They have a lot to make up for. But if they're not, then so be it. They're damned like the rest of them, right? That's what happens. We have to be able to separate and look at their actions now. So, but again, I'm not saying I'm either for or against. Whatever it is, and that's what it'll be. So, as we keep going, I'm going to move to the next slide because I'm probably going to not flip it fast enough. So, basically, additionally, the destruction of Gaia regenerated a chain of casual events which impacted many other neighboring living systems, such as parts of Andromeda, Sirius, and other star systems that fell into the Wessa Tunnel and became trapped within the phantom parts. So parts of the Gaian shadow matrix merged with other fallen matrices that were interconnected, sending many advanced levels of ascended master collectives to be sucked down into the Western system's phantom parts. And this included the Guardian Azerite identities that were originally seeded upon Gaia to embody the entire Gaian matrix for ensuring the founder presence was maintained upon the planet. So this is the last section we're going to get into tonight. There is more to this, which we'll do a part 2 for, and I promise you we will. And the way out being to evolve, I assume. I mean, there's many different paths on getting out of this system or this, this loophole. We're already breaking the chains of that loophole now. So what's to come is to be decided, right? And there's a lot at stake. So we have to make sure that we're all informed on these decisions to move forward. And we have to heal ourselves and heal the others so we can make a conscious or a consciousness based love and abundance decision for all entities that reside on this tremendous third dimensional earth, this beautiful third dimensional earth. It's not up to any one person. The collective has to decide where we go. And we will together, right? We'll be There will be others who may help us see the way, but they will not have direct influence in the way of you need to do that, right? And exactly, Darina. And that's what we talked about last night was spiritual coherence. Spiritual coherence is the beginnings of healing. Without spiritual coherence, we won't be able to get past a lot of the blockages that stem behind the scenes. And there's a lot going on, right? There's a lot of levels to this shit, as they say. A lot of levels to this shit, man. So as we keep going, this is the last section again. The conquering of the organic living systems in the Gaian Matrix also destroyed the Guardian Azerite race lines in our universe. They were sent here by the founder races. The original Guardian Azerites were 48 stranded angelic beings that sourced from each founder ray braided into the cosmic trinity, the Emerald Order, the Amethyst Order, and the Gold Order. They were all able to project themselves into any dimensional level between pre-matter levels, etheric, and into any kind of matter form that resides within this universe. The original Guardian Azerites that were on Gaia were captured by the invading entities, while others suffered serious genetic degradation during the Gaian Wars when their consciousness race lines were fused into the AI coding Gaian shadow body that was inserted into the artificial timelines. Some Azerites were taken into the Westa system, and their genetic template and every part of their etherical body was taken apart and mapped by the AI supercomputer systems to generate a Metatronic coding or an Antichrist architecture. Consequently, the invasion of Gaia included excruciating, painful memories of being separated from our unique soul and modanic families, as well as being separated from our particle antiparticle double, which later evolved into our genetic equal or herogamic sacred union partner. Right? We suffered from the loss in which one or more stations of identity connected as our genetic equal or mondanic twin may have been sucked down into the phantom layers and slowly turned into an AI hybridized version of themselves. So after the Gaian War, the Oraphim were seeded by the founders, right? This is the next slide, I believe. Good. I did it on time this time. So the Oraphim were seeded by the founder races with the sacred mission to find the lost Azerite identities and take their place as guardians, gradually rebuilding the Azerite genetic shield through the Emerald Order's direct instructions of guidance. By emerging the lyran-elohim Anuhazi template with the Azerite genetical code, the Oraphim were tasked to find, rehabilitate, and return the lost Azerite identities back to their true spiritual home in the God worlds. Many of the Oraphim have been intentionally mission coded to find their beloved Azerite Mondanic family members that were sucked into the phantom areas in order to reclaim their body parts back into the spiritual integration and the Christic wholeness, which made possible from accessing the Edenic coding they held on pre-fall Gaia. The Oraphim have been given full spectrum access, right? Which is what you're being given now, to the original Azerite genetic template and the aerogamic unit template for recording the lost Azerite and Ascended Masters Christos collectives for the purpose of recollecting and rescuing any Azerite or Ascended Master collective that fell into the phantom matrices and were assimilated into an AI version by the Wesa entities. As a result, the Oraphim have direct links to the Ascended Masters and the genetic equals that are directly connected to the Azerite genetic template histories from Gaia. Thus, the mission of the Herogamic Union is to reclaim and restore true genetic equals so that they find each other and through their power of eternal spiritual love unite to form sacred unions which are designed to heal the Holocaust timelines and the wars on Gaia, Terra, and Earth, all in simultaneous time. I can tell you that I have found my true twin flame in my wife, and my erogamic union has been sealed. Therefore, we are helping rescue those angelic beings that reside and the ascended masters that reside in that phantom tunnel, right? So we're going to stop here because the next set of information is going to be a little bit deeper, right? And there seems to be some confusion about the Oraphim. Now, the Oraphim are talked about in the Catholic faith as angels. Now, whether they're exactly that or not, there's a lot to talk. There's a lot of different names for the Oraphim. We can get into that all in its own. And the Oraphim were seated from the 7 layers of heaven, or the 7 heavenly realms. They were created, right? And they were created and sent down to essentially rescue those ascended masters that used to reside all over this specific universe to guide humanity to the next levels of ascension, right? Just like the angels are talked about in the Bible in that way. They come down to give message. They come down to give, mission. They come down to relay the words of those that are above them. That is what they do. So I hope this has found everybody completely with love and abundance. This message is powerful. It is definitely something that we need to get into further, right? There's a lot more to this. We can keep going. But if you haven't purchased your tickets for the workshop yet, I suggest you do. They're going very fast. And again, Sugar Bee, please email me after this. I have a couple questions to ask you. Being a admin or a moderator of the channel, please. Also, like, share, subscribe. Please leave a comment once this is finished. that is helping us, that's helped pushing us out past the algorithmic bugs that are shadow banning us at this moment in time. And I hope that this has done something to open up your perspective and help you to find your fifth density consciousness counterpart, your seventh density consciousness counterpart, and start to entwine yourselves, right? This is how we get to that next level. Ascension is a part of who we're going to be, right? But and Sugar Bee says that she, hasn't found her twin flame. It's not needed. Your ergogamic union can be a can be your fifth density self or your seventh density self. It's aspects of you, right? So the Eventbrite link is where you can purchase tickets for the workshop. The workshop will be in StreamYard. This is going to be a completely interactive workshop. So it's not just going to be me talking. There will be others who can come up on stage and have questions. We're going to do it like that. There's going to be a lot of techniques. We're going to be sending out emails with charts, graphs, and PDF files beforehand so we can go over some of that stuff and you'll have something to take with you once we finish. A lot of that will be the techniques in which you can heal in the quantum energy level and the energy field and the reality matrix level. So, you know, it's going to be about 2 hours, possibly 3. We're going to tear it down. I'm telling you, it's going to be something the likes of which you've never been a part of. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're also going to get through a lot of information there as well. Remember, if you're going to purchase a ticket, use the promo code Forever Student, all lowercase letters, for 10% off the ticket sale prices. Tickets are only $25. We also have the PayPal in the chat if you want to contribute to the channel in any way, shape, and form. It's pinned to the top of the chat. But again, please like, share, and subscribe. This information is paramount, and our duty to humanity is to get the information out. It's what we're sent here to do. So, with all that being said, again, please leave a comment once this is finished. I love you all. This has been an amazing hour right here in itself. I love going over this information. So, I love you all. I'll see you all soon. We'll be back in about 2 hours. And yeah, I'm here for it. Let's get into it. So, thank you. Have a great night.